Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. Oh, I'm excited. Today, I have two of my homegirls in the building. I got Myra to my right, and to my left, I got Shay.
Hello, everyone.
Listen, introduce yourself, ladies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Myra. Thank you for having us, Q.
No, thank you guys for coming. Guys, before we even get started, I want to say these are two good people. And I think they're very knowledgeable when it comes to life. And I do respect their opinions. So this is why we're doing this episode today. But today's episode, right, is we're talking about what? Managing expectations. I'm asking either one of y'all, whoever want to jump in first. When you hear managing expectations, what do you hear?
Managing expectations. First off, I believe you can't give anyone expectations that you don't have for yourself.
Ooh, say that again.
You can't give anyone expectations that you do not have for yourself.
I 150,000% co-sign that. I do believe that there are people who want things that they cannot do for themselves.
Agreed.
And what would you say when you hear that shit?
I agree with Myra.
You agree?
I feel like I 100% agree with Myra, yeah.
Because you can't set a bar for something or a situation or a circumstance and you're not thriving or trying to get to that point yourself.
Right.
It's not fair.
Right.
So I'm asking you, when you hear managing expectations, what do you hear?
So, first of all, I don't like the word expectations.
Okay.
I don't. I feel like standards is a better word. I feel like
Managing your standards?
Standards, but I don't like to say I have expectations of people.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
No, does it? Me and my homegirl was having this conversation the other day. Like, you can set a standard of this is where I'm starting, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. But I feel like expectations create disappointment.
Ooh.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? So
They
I don't want to
do.
have expectations of people because they're always going to disappoint me.
You know something? When you said that, you did strike a nerve for me because you're right.
I always strike a nerve for Q, y'all.
No, in a good way though, because I genuinely believe that there are times when you overly expect too much from someone and then they underperform. I think that's going on in the dating world heavy right now. Where a lot of people, they come hot and heavy, then they end cold and stormy.
Yep.
You know?
And you set yourself up for disappointment by saying, this is what I want from this person. And like you said, they don't give it to you. Now you're mad. But it's like, maybe they weren't capable of that. That was an expectation you created in your head.
Agreed.
That wasn't something they were able to, you get what I'm saying, to do. So I just,
agree
that
with that.
word kind of, it's a little shaky.
So you said it's a level of delusion that comes with it there.
There is, totally.
What do you think about that?
Of course.
Now that she's put that in perspective, I agree. I think when we set the bar for something and that person or that thing does not reach that bar, it sets us up for disappointment.
Right.
So maybe standard is a better word. You set a standard for something or what you may want things to be.
Right.
But it does leave room for disappointment.
I agree. Well, you know, one thing I've realized is talking to a lot of people, whether men and women, I genuinely believe that there are a lot of people who want things that they haven't gifted themselves as far as worked hard for.
Right.
And like I have a homeboy right now, and I'm gonna snitch on you. I don't care if you get mad. He has a girl. He wants her to be heavy into God. He's not. He wants her to be very financially literate when he's not. Everything that he's asking for is pretty much what he's not himself. So I think what he's doing is he's trying to find someone that's willing to do the work that he's not willing to do. And when I say it to him, he gets defensive, and I'm like, I could fight. I don't really care, but I'm like, bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Listen, I think it's crazy that a man would think that he's warranted something, or a woman is warranted something that they've never did anything for, right? I want a degree, but I've never even enrolled in college.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. So I'm asking you both guys, when in the dating world, from what you see, whether it's friends, personal, or anything else in between, what do you think is a major dilemma as far as expectations or standards in relationships today?
So I have a friend, and we're not speaking right now. Totally unrelated to this
She's
topic,
snitching.
guys. But so she has this expectation, as Q may use the word, where she doesn't have a degree, she has children, she doesn't make what she wants the person to make. So she wants someone to match energy she doesn't even have. And I find that like
delusional.
Super delusional, because it's like, okay, this man needs to make a certain amount. He needs to, if he does have kids, he can't have baby mama drama, but you have baby daddy drama because you have kids. If he works, he needs to be doing a certain type of job. He needs to come with a certain type of income, but you on hourly pay in the teens. So how is that even? I'm just saying, make it make sense, ladies. You know, and I'm all about my ladies. Like Q said, I be leading the revolution, here for it. But
Xena, warrior princess.
Sometimes you just have to make it make sense. You know, it to me, it just didn't make sense. And when I gave her my opinion, she kind of got mad. But I was like, we're such good friends. I'm just being honest with you. Is that if I'm putting myself as if I was a potential guy that was interested in you, and you're telling me this is what you want, and I'm looking at you, but like, baby, you don't even have that.
Exactly.
So you asking me what I bring to the table, but you don't even have a chair to pull up. I'm just saying.
I didn't say it, but I believe it. I didn't say it, but I believe it. Damn. I'm being honest. How you feel about that?
Once again, going back to what I said, set standards and expectations for yourself. Get your degree, get your money, do what you have to do. Set yourself up for success.
Yes.
So nobody could play in your face ever.
Yes.
So then you don't have to have these expectations of nobody, because you're good. Your kids are good, your family's good, your home is good, you're stable.
Yes.
Set yourself up.
Yes.
Your own expectations. We're always looking for so much from somebody else. We got to start pouring into ourselves, people. Pour into yourself and get your ish right. And then everything else will fall into place. And you'll start attracting those that have their ish together. It's Sunday.
Someone said sounds like wishful thinking. What do you agree about that? Someone said sounds like wishful thinking to me.
Exactly what do they mean by wishful thinking? I think
meaning not towards you, what you're saying wrong, but I think it's more like saying that they hoping for something.
Right, you're hoping for something. You're wishing for something. You're it's a hope and a wish.
But Q made a good point before, to add to what you said, Myra. He said, you know, women who sometimes we want to be so strong, we want to be so independent, but women like that usually are like, well, I don't need a man, because if I have all of this and I could provide for myself and I don't need you for this and I don't need you for that, then what do I need a man for? And he said sometimes it seems like we're in competition with our men.
Yes. You ever been to like a parking lot?
No, never.
No, I'm just. It's a reason why I'm going. I'm gonna land the plane.
Yes.
But you've been into a parking lot.
Yes. Right.
And when you go into a parking lot, you see there's in the beginning of the lot, you have handicap spots.
Right.
And then you also have spots that say maybe 15, 20-minute parking, right?
Right.
And those spots are for temporary.
Right.
I think that women that don't understand the difference between permanent parking spots and 15-minute parking. And why I say that, listen, I'm gonna land it. When you look at some of the women, I realize that expect a lot. They are the 15-minute parking spots. Ooh. They're not women that you can invest in and build with, and they add value to the high value man that they're expecting. A lot of times the women that say to me, what makes you a high value man? A woman can't tell me that, my family tells me that. When my mother allowed me to leave, it solidified how much of a masculine man I was. And my mother, she's not just letting a man pretend in her face and play in her face, as you said, to be a leader. My mother's, you're going to have to be a leader for my mother to follow my lead. So therefore, and I think my mother's one of the strongest women I know. She raised 6 kids by herself.
Wow. Give it up for
Mama. With a very, very low income, and she made it make sense. And I see now more so people don't want to hear, but they want to believe something that's not real. And it's a level of delusion, as you said. What is something constantly you're seeing, whether men or whether women, that is very delusional in their beliefs when pursuing or being pursued by a mate?
I believe that these women that are going and laying on the table to kill themselves for these bodies is very delusional and is some form of mental health.
Say that one more time. Look that way when you say it.
For real, ladies.
They got me laughing. All right, get it together, Myra. I believe that these women that are going to lay on the table to risk their lives for vanity, for these BBLs, is delusional and some form of mental health. Because when you talk to men men love a natural woman. They love these natural bodies. So who are these women and really in competition with? Is it other women? Is it themselves that they're willing to put their lives at risk to get their body? Now, we all about a little maintenance. I understand. Sometimes you want to nip and tuck a little things. I respect that. But we're not talking about that. And y'all know what I'm talking about out there. So it's a difference. And so I think it's some type of mental illness because they're getting these big butts and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And I think that's a form of delusion. That's the biggest delusion right now.
Men are
for me.
going for it though.
But when they interview, I watched the interview. They interviewed all these men, and they said natural bodies. They said BBLs are nice to look at.
They're saying that, but is that what we're
with.
seeing that they like? So I feel like sometimes it's not
They
so
like to
much.
play with them.
Shut that sound off.
I don't know, man. These men are out
What
here
do you think, you?
loving.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this with conviction. I think when being pursued or looking for someone of a certain status,
Right.
You said a minute ago you have to be that, right? So what I'm getting at is I think personally, more women, they have like a narcissist mentality when they believe that I don't have to be, but I still expect you to be. I think that's crazy as hell. Especially like if you are a high earning woman, I can understand why you have certain expectations of a higher value man next to you. It makes sense. Or you're a high value woman in itself, not just economics, but just a woman who kept herself of a certain echelons, not been tampered with 1,000 times. She hasn't been promiscuous. You know, she's kept herself in good standing. Because I genuinely believe, and I don't like to say this, some women get defensive when you say this. I think men view women like cars. And when a man sees a car, he doesn't like the car that has a lot of mileage. He likes the car that literally it could have been sitting on a lot for a while because that person knows it takes a special person to take that car. But also they want that car that's in good standing. A man don't want a car with a check engine light on. A man don't want a car with high mileage. And when I explain that to women, they look at it like,
130,000 on my Nissan.
yes. Listen, I see some people, they got a lot of mileage and then they say, how come a man can do it, but a woman can't do it? I'm like, now I'm gonna ask you as women,
Yeah,
I don't think women care so much about where a man's been. I feel like more women care about where a man's going.
For sure.
Men care about where a woman's been because we plan on leading where we're going anyway.
Right.
So I don't mind. I care about where you've been because at that point I want to lead us anyway. So I feel like that's why men care about where she's been, because I don't want nothing to affect us later while I'm leading us. Meaning some bozo will come up and say, hey, I was messing with your girl and he's a low value man. It can hurt your value with a man. It's like basically getting a brand new car and then you find out it's not brand new. And you're like, whoa. And then the person that had it didn't take care of it. And you're like, oh my God. And that's genuinely, that's how I think men think when it comes to women.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
But do you not think that we care about some of us care about where you've been also? You don't think some women care a little bit about where their man's been?
I think you care, but I think you will disregard it when it comes to where he is going with his life. I think there are a lot of women that will mess with the guy that slept with everybody, that's leading y'all and taking y'all to a place that makes sense. I don't think it's as significant as it is for men, because men, we have ego. And with ego will make you very insecure when it affects your ego. For me, like if I go out with you and my friend's like, yo, she was messing with such, that kills my ego.
Right.
Because men like to show off the very new item. We're very egotistical.
That's untouched. Right.
Yes. It don't matter if it's touched, but it can't be extremely touched. Because after a certain age, man, let's be real.
Right.
You can't be getting no girl that ain't been nowhere. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
We 16. You're like, come on.
Okay.
You know?
But going back to what you said about when you said the men standard with having, with being with multiple people. The thing is with women, most of us women, we correlate sex with emotion.
Yes.
Like, if I'm going to have sex with you, I have to like you a little bit. It got to be some type of an emotional attachment. I got to like you a little bit. So if you're just willing to just have random sex partners as a woman, it kind of, where's the respect? You got to kind of draw a line. So as with men gonna sleep with whoever. Yeah. They don't really, I'm not saying they don't have standards, but whoever's available, they're okay with that. They're okay with sleeping with you and never talking to you tomorrow or ever again. We're a little different when it comes to the way that we show our,
Yeah.
interests.
Rustlin said, we care about where you've been and where you're going. Baggage from the past can cause damage. I agree, but let me say the statement. More women will disregard where a man's been when he has somewhere prominent that he's going with you.
So, yeah.
More
I
men
agree.
will disregard a woman who doesn't matter where she's going
Right.
because of where she's been. They won't go with her. More masculine men won't want to be with a woman that didn't hold herself in good standing. I hear what she's saying. I think in both cases we do care about going in where you've been, but women will disregard it because 9 out of 10 times the most popular guys are usually still the most popular guys when it comes to women. Women don't really care as much as men. Like, if a man has 100 bodies, more women will disregard it if he takes you and marry you and move on with your life and lead you out to a promising place.
Very true.
I'm just being fair.
I agree.
You know?
So do you feel like as we age as women, we kind of lose our value to men?
I think it depends. And when I say depends, in most cases, I will say yes. And the reason being is because since the beginning of time, men were naturally more attracted to younger, right? Because younger represents fertility, younger represents the willingness to be more. And when I say the word, somebody's going to take it personal, obedient. Obedient is only meaning willing to listen, an allowance, right? We say the word submissive, and a woman says, oh, that's wrong. But I always ask this question. When we say standards, a woman will say that a man that don't make money is a bum because that's her standard, right?
Okay.
But a man that says a woman is not submissive, that's our standard. But women will disregard our standards because they make it a lot of times about how they feel. And I'm like, in order to understand a man, one must listen. In order to understand a woman, one must listen also. I only understand women because I listen to women.
What's a submissive woman to you, Q? What does that mean?
To me, the word submission only means in a relationship.
In a relationship,
Okay,
yes.
we have to identify that.
Yes.
Because it's two different meanings when it comes to just life itself.
Right.
Right.
In a relationship, what is a submissive woman to Q?
The willingness to allow to lead.
To allow you to lead.
I don't want a slave. I don't want a woman that says, get in the kitchen. I think that's sick, right? We're talking about logical. Okay. Logical is, are you allowing me to lead? Sometimes I don't go to a woman and say anything about what's going on. It's because I'm a solution-based creature. The issue with being a leader is a lot of times people say that they're leaders because, or they're alphas because they're aggressive. An alpha is not because you're aggressive. An alpha is a strategical, conscious decision maker. That's what makes a great leader. I'm a great leader because I'm strategical, I'm conscious, and I don't put my feelings before I put my logic. My logic has to come first. Sometimes women be like, I'm a leader, I'm an alpha. I'm like, no, you're aggressive. You're not a leader. And when you tell a lot of women that, they get mad. And a lot of men think that also. Just because you can fight don't mean you can fight bills. A lot of men can get physical, but they can't fight a bill.
Right.
So I'm going back and forth with both sides. I'm not biased on women or men. I just think that the term alpha is used wrong. If someone is constantly complaining about, oh my God, I gotta do this, and that's not a good leader.
Right.
It's not a good leader. Because a leader is a solution-based, or if I'm not good at it, I'm gonna call you and say, you know what, can you do this for me? Then I'm gonna call you and I'm like, can you do this for me? That's a good leader. A leader knows how to delegate also.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
But do you feel like nowadays a lot of women may not have that in their relationships, right, ladies, or their marriages, or whatever it is, and that's why they feel like, what is it am I being submissive to?
It throws
You
us
get what
into
I'm
a
saying?
masculine role. I
Right.
feel like a lot of women
Right.
are thrown into
Not
our
by choice, ladies,
masculinity,
because
not by
we
choice.
want to be in our
wanna
sensitive
be
and soft
soft
era.
and
There's no
submissive.
woman in here that could, or anywhere that could say we don't like to be soft. Of course, we want to feel like, we could relax and take it easy.
And our
But
man
if
got
you're
it.
not. If you're not giving us that peace of mind, then what exactly do you want us to do, especially when there's children involved and we know we got these kids to take care of, we got this house to take care of, you want us to cook, you want us to clean, you want us to take care of the kids, and then you don't make us feel like you got it.
Safe.
So now we have to jump
Safe.
in.
Safe.
And it's not aggression. Now we have to jump in and play this part of being almost like a man too.
Right.
So why am I submitting to somebody that's not showing me that he could lead?
Let me ask you a question, though. I agree 100% what you said. Let me say that first. 150% what you said, right?
Which is very unusual.
No, I agree, because logic is logic. And when I hear the term submission, right?
Right.
Based on how you raised, a woman can naturally be a leader. A man can be a leader. The issue is you have a woman who is a leader, trying to combat who she is, right? Psychologically, you are a leader. Actions, you're a leader. Emotionally, you're a leader. Everything about you is a leader. The problem with women is when they know that they're leaders and they think that they just need to find a more alpha man than them. That's not reality. In most cases, by design, based on your nurture versus your nature, the way you were raised, the environment you come from, could have made you every bit of a leader. So sometimes the man finding a woman who's leading him, he's submitting to her, knowing that he doesn't have the ability or the inability to lead. He knows he's not a leader. So therefore, I'm submitting to the fact that you're a better leader than me. I let you control the money. I let you make the final decisions in the house. That is an alpha man in itself too, because the term alpha, he has to be secure with himself. So the fact that he's secure with himself, he's allowing you also to lead because you happen to be the better leader. Sometimes I think we don't talk about that enough, because if a man is raised to be submissive to a mother, in most cases, a single mother, he's more inclined to be more submissive to a woman leading him, because there was never an alpha man in the house teaching him how to be an alpha.
Now, it's so crazy that you say that, because I feel like you just described my marriage. Now, my husband is by no far a beta male. He's very much an alpha male, but he did grow up with a single mother.
Yes.
So I feel like us both being leaders, sometimes it clashes.
Agreed.
So I, as the wife, had to take the road to say, you know what, I'm going to step back. But I feel like our roles interchange sometimes.
Okay.
Like, I lead him in certain things and he leads me in certain ways, because we're both leaders, we had to work through that clash, because in the beginning it was rough.
Yeah.
You got two leaders, you got two, I wouldn't call myself an alpha female, no, by no means, but I am a leader.
I think you are an alpha female.
Okay.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay,
Because
so
why do I say that is because I think that my question, I'm gonna ask you a question logically.
Okay.
If things got rocky, would you run? Not your relationship, in life.
No, I don't
Would you
run.
face the problems?
Head on.
That's a leader. If you had to live on your own and pay all your bills, could you do it?
Absolutely.
That's a leader. There's a lot of things that the term alpha, right? Are you mentally sane? Are you conscious of your decisions?
Absolutely.
Do you lead with your emotions or your logic?
My logic always.
That's a leader. So again, people misconstrue this alpha thing, right? Everyone should understand who they are. And by identifying self, one can fix self and do the right thing when it comes to a relationship. I cannot be in a healthy relationship when I'm sick myself. So I need to know what I am before I even engage in a relationship. I know I don't like responsibilities. So why am I not looking for a woman who is more conscious and active when it comes to responsibilities? I can go get money, because provision don't mean you're a leader.
Right.
I know great providers who are not great leaders, and without their wives, they would not be in the position they are. So I'm just being logical, right? Would you agree?
I'd agree. But do you think sometimes a lot of marriages and relationships have issues because people don't establish those from the get?
Yes, but you also have to be able, most people bring the representative. So I'm only meeting who you showing me you are. No
I
man
agree
wants to
with
show
that.
that he's a sensitive guy, especially when he first meets you. He's gonna come across as this super alpha because society tells you that you're not a man if you're not. And what happens is you have more posers pretending to be something they're not, and they're not that. Right? Meanwhile, you could be this strong woman. You could be, I think both of y'all strong. I genuinely believe that it's okay. Once I can accept who I am, I don't say I'm a leader by default. I'm a leader by action. So anyone that comes around me can see it. He's an alpha man.
Did you bring your representative to your relationship, or
No.
did you come off as who you are?
No, I'll give you a quick scenario. There was a time I'm in a relationship. I bought a house.
Okay. Right.
I wasn't happy in the house that I bought.
Okay.
Because I allowed someone in my family to move in, and they made my house very uncomfortable. One thing about your home, it should be your sanctuary.
Agreed.
Your chi, your zen, whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
This is where you recharge your battery.
Yes.
I call my house my Tesla.
That's right.
I walk in here to recharge.
That's right.
This is
I
my
agree.
charging station.
Cheers to that.
Right.
Agreed.
So
Cheers
if
to
I'm
that.
walking into my space and I'm not getting my recharge, I'm still fighting life as I should be doing outside, right? I can't be happy there. So I decided to sell a house. Long story short,
You sold the house instead of just putting the person out?
I sold it.
Oh, all right.
And I'm gonna tell you why I sold it, because I believe in energy.
Okay.
And on top of
You
it,
could have just washed the walls.
one of the people that lived there was someone I genuinely love. So the person had something that I love, a child that I love, that I couldn't kick that person out because of that.
Okay.
So I decided to sell it. so I could start all over.
Okay.
So there was a time where I moved into my girl's house with the intent on buying a bigger and better home. So when I did it, she tried everything to keep me there. I said, it's not happening. I said, because reality is I have to create the kingdom that I plan on leading. I cannot walk into your queendom and expect to be a king. And that's reality. So long story short, she tried to keep me there. I want you to stay. I said, no, I'm not going to stay here. And the reason why I'm not going to stay here is because this is not nothing I built. A man is one who builds. A leader is one who builds. And that could be a woman or it can be a man. I don't think a man is less of a man because he chooses to move into your place and he's not this alpha man. I wouldn't expect him to be able to do that. That's like putting, basketball? You know what a center is?
Yeah.
You know centers don't shoot threes like that, right? You're making the rebound to go shoot threes. You're doing a bad job as a leader.
Right.
So you got to know what's what.
Right.
And I think that's what makes someone a leader, when they know and can identify who's who. I'm not going to put my guys, my team, Dre, Chris, Tyler, Kenzie, in positions they're not for. I know what Chris is good at. I know what Dre's good at. Right. I know what Tyler's good at. I know what Kenzie's good at. And I'm going to put them in a position where it shows their abilities. And I think that's what makes me a great leader. And it doesn't take away from their kingdom or their kingship. It's just knowing what it is.
I respect that.
You know, that's just reality.
Definitely respect
I
it.
respect that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Well, cheers to that. Keep your standards low.
This guy said,
We were
I'm
talking about this the other day, so I do have a question.
I'm fighting insecurity.
Do you think that you can be friends with an ex and still have a healthy relationship
with your person that you're with?
with your person that you're with? Yeah. This is just a conversation I was just having.
I
So I
think-
just wanted to bring that up.
As a man or a woman, it is your extreme role to make sure your mate is extremely comfortable with your past
Okay.
before y'all can move into the future. I don't think it makes him a weak man, because it takes a lot to accept a woman that you know that was intimate with someone. Intimacy is a thought when it comes to women. Intimacy with a man is an action.
As an action, right?
So if a woman consciously thought about having sex with this guy, that means there was emotions, feelings, and there was a willingness to submit. For a woman to have sex with me, she has to submit to me. I cannot take a woman. She has to submit.
Right.
Women determine sex, men determine relationships. I'm going to be honest. In marriage, it's true. Men determine, women keep the marriage together, but men determine marriage. A man has to propose to you.
So yeah.
Because once he's getting your intimacy, which is your prize, chances are in most cases, most women will marry the man that they're having sex with. In most cases. I'm not going to say there are cases that are rarities where she's just having casual sex. We're talking about if she's having sex with a person she loves, she has to submit to him. Sexually, I mean.
Right.
Not doesn't have to be day-to-day life, but as sexually, she has to submit.
Yeah. So
Do you feel like men know from the time you start dating someone, right? Like, do you know if that's someone that you're going to be with, or it's just a pass through? Do you know if she's a handicap park, 15-minute park, or if you could leave the car overnight? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know? I'm just asking, because sometimes it's one of those questions where you see some women
Great
dating for
question.
6 years, 10 years, 15 years, and I'm like,
Right.
so you're going to put a ring on you? Like, how long are we dating? At what point do you know, listen,
this is the
this
one.
is the one?
We talked about that the other day. You ever see a man leave a 30-year relationship and go get married in a month?
No.
But in most cases, the reason why most men don't get married to women they've been with long is either A, she's giving him everything that she could possibly give him, or he's hoping that there's something changes with her, and he's praying. It's something about that she's not doing that's not making him feel complete. Because naturally, the ultimate prize for a woman is marriage. The ultimate prize for a man is finding a wife.
Right.
So anyone that says otherwise, I think they're delusional as hell.
Right.
I think the ultimate prize is saying I'm a husband. The ultimate prize is saying I'm a wife. I'm a biblical guy. The Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Amen.
So for me, I think that is the ultimate prize, whether it comes to men and women, is being able to say my husband, being able to say my wife. But sometimes when you talk to people, I think they've lost focus on being girlfriends. They want to be more girlfriends and baby mamas than they want to be wives. And more men are comfortable being baby daddies and boyfriends than they are to be husbands. But again, that has to be a teaching. But I do believe that a lot of people don't really look at themselves before they get in relationships.
Right.
They don't learn themselves. You know, they don't learn
Right.
themselves.
A lot of people have strayed away from marriage. It's not like our grandma and grandpa days when you were dating someone, you're courting them.
Right.
The goal was to get married and to have children. That has changed now. So, like you said, it's your upbringing. The focus is not on marriage and having a household anymore. That's just not it. Everyone has strayed away from it. So, I don't know if that's ever going to come back around again.
But I think women set that tone. You can't be doing boyfriend duties and expect a wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I feel like we set that tone for them as to what we want,
Yes.
when we want it, and how we want it. Because
Yes.
if a man comes into your life and you let him know, listen, I'm not playing. Like, I'm
not
not gonna be
tolerating
sitting here
this.
doing this, doing that, and you running in and out as you want to. You dating. What's going on here? Like,
Right.
sometimes you got to put that pedal
You
to
gotta
the
set the
metal and put that
standard.
pressure on them. Because if not, I feel like a man is very comfortable just sitting in the driver's seat, laying back. I mean, the passenger side, laying back and. Hey, she ain't really, we
going
good.
for the ride.
She cook for me. She clean. She do everything I need to do.
What
I
I
gotta
need
put a
to
ring on
marry
her
her
finger.
for.
Right.
I agree.
You get
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? So it's like, if you're okay with a boyfriend, ladies, then he's gonna continue to be your boyfriend.
That's
If
right.
you let him know that you want a husband, he'll do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. He'll do what he has to do.
I think media has made marriage not healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we're saying though is like, how do you manage expectations when you have people who have very unrealistic expectations? How do you manage that?
How do you manage expectations when you have people that have unrealistic expectations? I told you this before, Q. I don't do expectations. Expectations for me, guys, always leads to disappointment. I have gone into, what Q call me? Mrs. Leading the Revolution.
Xena.
I feel
Warrior
I feel like
princess.
Xena the warrior
I've gone
princess.
into relationships. I went into a whole marriage with expectations, with this is what I expect, this is what I want. And when it wasn't done, I was disappointed. And I've learned that there are differences with standards and there are differences with expectations. I also feel as though we don't take time. I'm kind of drifting from Q's questions to saying we don't take time to get to know our partner before we get into these. Marriage is a big thing, y'all.
a big
Marriage is
commitment.
a lot of people have weddings, but they don't have marriages. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have weddings, but you don't have marriages. You got the big expensive dress and expensive venue and everything like that, but you don't really have a marriage. A marriage is patient. And if you know that you can't give that, you get what I'm saying? Then don't go into it. There's so much that it entails that I feel like Q said it before, that people come with their
Representative.
their representative at first. You get what I'm saying? So how am I supposed to know the difference? If you come in and you showing me this is what you are, I'm believing it. Maya Angelou said when people show you who they are, believe them. So if you come
Yes,
with your representative,
yes.
I think that's what you are. You represent it.
Yes.
Now, 6 months pass, a year pass, 2 years pass, I'm seeing something different. Do I stay? Do I go? Am I supposed to be like, all right, let's try this out and see if, maybe this person's going to change. I think a lot of women, we think we could change men. We think we could fix him up.
Both
Like, I
sides.
could make him how I want him to be.
Right.
Both sides.
Like, I think I could make him how I want him to be, not realizing, like, you are who you are. When you get to a certain age, this is it. You get what I'm saying? And also, I'm not at an age or at a stage in life where I want to fix anybody.
Right.
Come to me ready or don't come to me at all.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Come to me ready
Come
or
to me
don't
ready or
come
don't
at
come to me at
all.
all. Like, I'm
But
not fixing
what
nobody.
You were saying about, okay, I kind of disagree a little bit when you're saying,
I
can
like
you
that.
make a man what you want him to be? Now, I am married. My husband that I met and married is not the husband he is today. He has changed and evolved.
How long you guys been together?
We have been together almost 10 years, married almost 7.
So 10 years total.
10 years, almost 10 years.
But he
right
was,
now.
let's give it 10. Let's give it 10.
My husband is 46.
So he was about 36.
Yes. Right. So age played a lot into
People
that.
grow up.
And he grew up and he matured. So I'm not saying I molded him in the man I wanted him to be, no. But what I've done over the years is I've set a standard of what I will accept and what I won't accept. Does it take a man a little bit of time to get out of his ways? Yes, it absolutely does.
And a woman.
And a woman. I'm a first time being a wife. That's his first time being a husband.
Do he
We
come from
had-
marriage?
He does not.
Do you come from marriage?
Yes, I do.
But that's why.
I do. But
What does marriage look like to someone that never seen marriage?
And that's why I gave him this leeway and this understanding, and I communicated with him, and I had to put my foot down and to say, listen, I'm not going to tolerate certain things, and I'm not going to deal with certain things. And after a while, he listened.
And what if they don't?
If they don't, that's when you have an issue. Because if you're telling someone what you do not like over and over and over, and they're not listening to take the time to take into account what you're feeling and what you're expressing to them, then they really don't care about your feelings at all.
Can I say something, to be honest?
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people rush into the dating world.
Yes.
They rush into it. And it's like they just want to be attached to somebody. But I will say this too. There are people, and I've met them, that's left people looking for better and gotten a lot worse.
Oh, yeah. Because the grass ain't always green on us.
Because the people don't be that bad. I'm being honest and fair. Like, I'll give you a scenario. I'm going to tell something personal, be a little vulnerable. I'm a divorcee. And I was with my wife for almost 17 and a half, 18 years. That's long time. All my whole life, since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Okay. So I don't even know myself at one point without her.
Right.
To the point where going through a divorce was like I was losing me.
Right.
But I realized I wasn't me because going through divorce actually helped me find me. I only knew who I was because of the relationship. But what I will say is, you said something about standards. I think my standards changed. I used to compromise so much when we were younger because I wanted the marriage to work so bad. And I come from a single mother. So I didn't want my child to be or come from a broken family. They do say broken people create broken families, but I wasn't broken. I was ready to create a family. I gave the wedding. I gave everything. I wanted to do the right thing. But what I realized is when you have someone who have unrealistic expectations, then you in a battle of a lose-lose no matter what.
Right.
There is no win. Right. And I kept seeing myself like, damn, I kept being everything she wanted me to be, but I wasn't happy. And I was like, when they say happy, once I learned that happiness is a choice, because initially I had the mentality was a man is supposed to make a woman happy. Whoever created that is so full of crap. That is not true. A man is supposed to add the IER already on your happy.
That's right.
I'm supposed to make you happier.
That's right.
But you have to come happy. She wasn't happy, and nor was I, because of the fact that we were codependent on each other, making each other happy. So I kept saying, this is not happy. We got content, we got complacent. We thought love was about fighting and then making up and fighting. It was like a cycle. It was a cycle. And then when I realized that it was no longer conducive for the next chapter of my life, I was willing to close the chapter. And it took a lot to close that chapter because the chapter was so open so long. And it was a lot of drama and a lot of motion picture. It was fun.
Right.
It was a lot of codependency in it. But then I realized, I said, you know what? This is the step that I have to make in order for me to become the best version of myself. I remember even like right now, you see I'm talking to women. I was never comfortable talking to women because of my ex's insecurity. Having a conversation with women would be like, let me guess, you like her?
Right.
Like if you walk with a woman, I'd be able to say like, she got the fatty.
Right.
It shouldn't be oh my God. I'm like, look, he's an attractive guy.
Right.
And you talk about you're human, we look.
Right.
But when you act, that's when there's a problem.
Right.
So when did it become, if you don't mind being transparent
I'm honest.
with your viewers, when
Listen,
did
my
it
people love me, they
become the last straw? When was it like, this is it, I'm ready to...
I grew up without my father, and a part of me was very insecure because of it.
Okay.
And imagine not knowing who you are, or at least a half of you.
Right.
Because your mother can only show you half of who you are. Your father has to show you the other half. That's why when a child has both parents, they tend to be more complete.
So you don't think a woman can't raise a man kind of thing?
I think a woman can help raise a man, but I think it takes a man to see what a man is.
Absolutely.
Because I think a woman can raise a man that she wants, but don't necessarily mean the man that's good for the world.
Right.
Because sometimes a woman can raise a simp because that's what she wants. A guy to give and do everything for her.
Okay.
But in most cases, a man will genuinely show there's a difference between being nice and being a simp. A lot of men don't know the difference between being a nice guy and being a simp. Right. Because their moms made them a simp and they taught them how to be a simp.
What is a simp?
A simp is just an overly passive guy. Right? When you, for instance, if you was let me take you married, I'm not gonna do that. You're my woman. And you argue with me and I won't stand up to you. but I believe that you believe that I'm going to protect you, I think that's a delusional man. If you can't stand your ground with a woman, I'm not saying stand there and argue for no 2 hours, because that's feminine energy when a man does that. Very feminine. A man says his piece and he gets it moving. But when I can't stand my ground and say I'm willing to lose this relationship based on what I believe. Right. If I can't stand on that, there's no way you believe I'll protect you.
Right.
It's impossible.
So Q said something wrong just now.
I'm
Guys,
listening.
I am married. He said Myra's married. I'm very married.
I'm sorry.
But that's an issue that I'm having with my husband is I feel like I'm able to just say what I want, do what I want, be who I want, and he doesn't argue anything. And I don't like that.
But you're a lot, though.
What does that mean I'm a lot?
You're a lot.
What do you mean?
And it's not about a lot.
Zena the warrior princess.
Remember I said that. It's not bad for who you are.
No, but what do you mean
makes
by I'm a
it
lot?
I don't think you're a lot in the sense of, let me make sure I say the word right.
You better.
I'm gonna say it right. I don't think you're a lot with it's like toxic. I think you're a lot just because you're just you. And it takes a strong person to accept who you are. And I think that's strength, because I don't think you should change who you are, because this what makes you who you are. And I don't think you choose to be who you are. I think by nature and the way you grew up is what made you who you are. I don't see nothing wrong with you. And I'm just being honest. You are strong, but I need more people to stand with me strong, because there's a war going on. Let's be honest. It's raising healthy children. It's teaching our communities how to be better. I need more people that's willing to take up their shield and sword. And if I look to my right and my left, I know I'm gonna see both of my girls standing there. Some dudes are gonna run.
Not the shield and sword.
Listen, it's a war going on. Let's be honest. Right? It's an economical war.
Yeah,
it's a psychological war. It's a spiritual war going on out here. It's a financial war going on. It's all across the board. But again, by knowing who you are and sitting in the back, you're not doing yourself you're doing yourself a disservice. It's just what you are. When I say you're a lot, in a good way. It's not in a bad way. I think I'm a lot. And it takes a special person to know how to deal with me.
But do you also feel like people outgrow each other? Do you feel like that's a real thing where, yes, you get married, right? And this thing is for women to grow up and we're supposed to get married and you're supposed to be good wives and blah, blah, blah. Do you think there may come a point where you're like, we're different? And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I come from 2 parents who got divorced and my parents get along. They're fine. I mean, all their kids are grown now, but they get along with each other where it's like, hey, happy birthday, how's everything, blah, 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 and they're good. Is there such a thing as outgrowing a relationship? Just the way you may look at, you look in your house and you're like, damn, I do like this paint, but I want to change it.
Yes.
I love this shoes. I've always loved it. I've had it for 10 years, but not so much. It don't fit the same. It don't look the same. Do you feel like we outgrow friendships?
Yes.
We outgrow things, and we may outgrow relationships.
Yes, but in the same breath, I think when we said earlier managing expectations, I think that you can outgrow it because you've taken a new chapter or a new step in your life or your marriage. For instance, she said roles interchange. So therefore, at one point, her husband could have been extremely the leader. There are moments where she took over as the leader, but it interchanged. So I think that you might be in a new chapter of self. And sometimes with that journey, it's not about leaving someone. It could be you just got to go after yourself. Like, for instance, I can't be mad if I want the mansion when my woman has helped me build a home.
Right.
I want that's something completely different from us building a stable home. A lot of times I feel like our foundations are wacky because I want someone to do something they're not meant for. It's my journey. When you see the visions in your mind, that's your vision. It's not their vision, it's your vision. And the person's supposed to add value to the vision. If I ask you, your husband, is he loyal?
Yeah.
Is he honest?
Yeah.
Does he hit you?
No.
Does he provide?
Yeah.
You sound like you have a great husband. And I'm being honest. And I'm not being on his side or your side. I'm being fair and neutral. I don't even know him. But in fairness, I think sometimes the new car smell always smells better until you get the new car. And sometimes we think that the new thing is the better thing, but it's not. The old person, because you got accustomed to it, we think that someone will do those same things. The new guy might be a cheater. The new guy might be a liar. He might be every bit of what you assume he is, but you know. So sometimes we go into different doors not realizing that the door we was in was the best room. Yeah. So you know, and I'm just being fair to both sides. I think
A lot
that,
of these cars be crash outs, though. I'm sorry. I'm not.
but based on, and I'm being fair though.
Crash outs.
But based on what she said her husband is,
Right.
he's a good man.
Right.
He's loyal. He doesn't cheat. He's honest.
But does a good man always mean that that's the man for you? Because
Yes.
you have a lot of good
But
people.
let me ask you
Yes.
this, Q.
I
Let me
don't- I
ask
don't know,
you
Q, I
this.
disagree.
He
Ladies,
has-
if you agree, say something. Do you think
No.
a good person means that that's the person? Some people can be great. It doesn't mean that that's the person for you.
Can I say
named
that? Can I say this?
You're going to say it anyway, so just say
I
it.
think personally, you want this alpha man. And for me speaking to you, and I love you, but I think you're the alpha.
But I don't want to be.
But it's what you are.
I want to be in my
Yo, look,
softness.
can I ask you a question?
Can I be
Can I
soft?
ask you a question?
I want to be soft.
Can I ask you a question?
I want to sit back and just have somebody I just want to be soft.
I want to be
She's the
fair.
alpha,
Can I be
guys.
soft?
I want to be
Sorry, she
fair.
is.
Do you see me as an alpha?
Yes.
Me and you will go to war if we was dated. Your house would be on fire. Andre Rison and Left Eye Lopez type crap.
That's
Burn it down.
offending.
But you know what it
Burn
is?
it down.
You know what I see with you is
Oh, God.
I think that he's comfortable accepting you being you. And sometimes that's why that word submission comes in. When you are who you are, he submits and allows you to be who you are. Because you may be the alpha in your home. There's nothing wrong with that. I think more women need to understand, based on the way people are raised, that's how they are.
But women
There are
still
better.
want to be in their softness, Q. Even
still are
even the
feminine.
most alpha woman still want to know, like, yo, I want to be able to sit
Sometimes
back
we
and
wanna
know that.
step out of that leadership
sometimes we want
role.
to step out of that role
And kick our feet
You
up.
can't. Every day, I don't want to. I don't want to be Zena.
But you have to be.
I want to be Tina.
But you want to hear something funny? And you know what's sad about you though? And I'm going to be honest and fair. And now this is being her friend.
Yeah.
With no
I'm
shade,
her
no
cousin.
personals.
Here we go.
Of her cousin, I'm sorry. But being honest, if she decided to let a man lead, you will be the worst passenger seat driver on earth.
Oh, her? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
My
yeah.
point.
Yeah. She's very
Accept
headstrong.
yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yo,
much.
accept yourself. And I'm telling you as your brother, accept yourself. Listen, if I chose to open a business, I'm calling both of y'all because I know y'all strong. I'm not gonna want you to not be you. I'm like, yo, tell me what you think. What's your opinion? I did not bring you here to be no submissive. You are an alpha, and I want you to be an alpha. An alpha can submit to an alpha when it comes to time to delegating. It's just what it is.
So when am I allowed to be in my softness? Alphas we don't deserve
When you're
a little
humping.
softness.
Yeah.
Not humping.
You know what, Q? You know what's crazy? Sorry. Q read my mind because I said in
When you
my
humping.
head, get out of my head, I said, the only time I'm 100% submissive is in the bedroom.
It is what it is.
Otherwise, it's always not always a fight, but I'm always gonna have an opinion. Let me say that.
Why not?
But like I was saying, it's interchangeable. But I think in our case, that's why we need a strong man, because even in the bedroom, we need to be dominated. Because I don't. As much as we are alphas, I don't want to be an alpha in the bedroom. That's the one place
That's weird.
where I want to just let go.
Tell him, man, bend over. I'm like, oh my God. I got a dude in the house. But I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest now?
Of course.
You take you, you take you. All right? I think the word strong. Let me ask you a question. If I can come to you as a teacher and tell you I'm bad in math, does that mean I'm not strong?
No.
It means I'm strong, right? Because
Yeah.
I can admit.
Yes.
Vulnerability is strength. That black people don't understand that aspect.
Yes.
Vulnerability is strength.
I agree.
The fact that a man can accept who you are and let you be who you are, that is strong as hell. Because think about it. If me and you got hired at a job, you got hired a year after me. I've been on a job. They hire you as a supervisor, but I've been there longer than you. But I know I'm not a good leader, and you are. And I accept you being a supervisor. Does that mean I'm not strong?
No.
It means it's just what it is.
Q, I think you're
No,
missing
I'm
the
the better
point
leader.
from
I'm listening.
a woman's perspective. What I'm saying is, okay.
You can't have masculine energy and talk about a woman's perspective.
No.
Because masculine energy is not about woman.
I didn't say nothing
Let me
to
just
you,
say
y'all.
this. It's not. It's just an energy.
I'm saying to you, okay, so let's just say you are an alpha female and you're the one that's like,
Speak
all
for
right, this
yourself.
is how
You
we're
are an
gonna
alpha
do
female.
This is how everything's gonna get done
Yep.
because I'm the better planner, I'm the better this, I'm the better that. All right. But now you have something like, all right, when do I get something specially planned for me? Like, she's done everything that she needs to do. So now this is her day, whether it's your birthday, whether it's your anniversary, whether it's Valentine's Day. And it's like, you know what? Because this woman does so much and she's so strong and she's out there doing what she needs to do. When does that alpha woman get to feel for a second like, oh, wow, like he did that. So now do I have to do because if I have to do all of that and then do all of that, then I'm just good with my toys. I don't need no DICK. For what? I'm not being honest with you. For what? Because now if I have to do everything, be for the kids, not to saying that he doesn't, or not to saying, but if I have to do all of that and be all of that, and I can't even get my soft side,
and then
why do I need you?
When
what
she
reason
has
do I need
to
you for?
do all of that and be all of that, how is she supposed to be turned on sexually?
You're talking about take control in the bedroom. If I have to do all of that in the bedroom, out the bedroom, in the house, out the house, and I have to do all of that, then how am I supposed to give a man the respect that he wants? How am I supposed to submit to someone when I'm too busy with my shield? I got my sword, I got everything going, and I'm like, listen, I can't put this down for a second because I don't know if you can handle it. It's too sharp for you.
So can we be honest with each other? Do you think you're a good leader?
I think I'm a great leader.
So why are you complaining about leading?
I'm not complaining about leading. It's not about leading, Q. I'm saying to you, when are leaders allowed to just put down their shield and armor for a second and be like, you know what? I just want to chill for a second.
I don't think we are.
Am I a leader?
Yes.
But I never get that luxury. 9 out of 10 times.
But you're a man. I'm a woman. You can't
doesn't
compare
matter.
yourself to me.
No,
It does
let me say that
matter.
again. Can I say it again?
We're two different.
Can I say it again?
Different sides.
Can I say it again?
I
That's
agree
not
with
true.
you.
That's not true.
I agree with
That's
him.
not fair, and that's horrible.
I don't think leaders.
My mom didn't get the luxury of putting her shield and sword down till she turned about 55 years old. When I decided to take up the family, and maybe I'll give it a little, like 50 years old, I decided to take up the family. The reality of all things is,
but do you think your mom was okay with that?
She had to. She had to. Because again, my mother couldn't do it no other way.
But what you have to do based on what you want to do, Q, or what you wish could have been. I'm just saying, yes, maybe that was what it was for her, but do you think she was okay with that? Do you think she would have wanted things to be different?
But I'll be honest with you,
I don't want to wait for my sons to get older to make me feel in my soft area. You ain't gonna tell me I gotta wait on an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old to kind of finally
Q said,
feel
Shay,
that.
I don't think as leaders we get that luxury
No.
like you say. I
No.
think we are kind of like chosen ones. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we chosen ones and we got a mission. Let's talk about
our because that's not fair, y'all.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Okay.
Let's compare.
Say the
her.
name.
No, we don't.
I'm
do
joking.
That.
I'm joking.
Let's compare someone that we know.
He's all right.
She ain't no leader. And she gets the luxury to do whatever she chooses, whenever she pleases, however she chooses.
Why?
Because she chooses to do that. She doesn't have the characteristics or the leadership skills that we have. So as us as leaders, all 3 leaders sitting here, this is who we are. If we put our shield and our sword down, nothing is going to get done and things are going to fall apart.
I don't care. You're not going to tell me that a woman is going to do everything, lead the house, take care of this, and she does not get allowed to just
No, we're not talking about women. We're talking about leaders.
Woman, leader.
It's different, though.
It doesn't matter. I want to be in a little bit of a soft era. I want to feel what it feels like for someone to cater to me a little bit. And you're not a soft era is a woman feeling like, you know what? We're dating and I'm strong. I'm taking care of the house. I'm taking kids. I'm doing everything. Yo, plan something for our anniversary.
Plan a nice night.
Something.
Run a bubble bath or something. You know?
He's not good at that?
So you're not good at anything. So I got to be one that's 100%. So what are you good at?
So I'm asking you a question. What is he good at?
Making sure to get the bills get paid on time.
But that's a major factor of being a provider.
For sure.
But what it is you might be a better protector.
Okay.
Because of how you were raised.
What does that have to do with the soft era?
Because you're not soft.
So what? But I want to sit back
you
a
lying
little
to
bit
yourself.
And be okay. I want to sit back a little bit and feel
want to
like
be soft.
Listen,
Guys,
it's not
that's
real.
listen,
Guys, let me tell you something.
Softness.
I have been with my husband, right? So I have 2 children. I have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old. If we're going to talk, we're going to talk. The Tito's is okay. We're going to
give another drink.
No, it's not about airing out. So my kids, I have 2 children. I have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old. My 11-year-old is from a previous relationship. I met my
How does he treat that kid?
husband. I met my now husband.
I just want to say that, though.
When, I'm going to tell that. I met my now husband when my son was 10 months old. Amazing to my son. Now, we have 2 children.
We ain't going to just run past that. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
We're going to give him his flowers. Come on. Amazing to my son, and always been. But I'm not, we're not just going to clap it up like I'm forever in debt to him because
I never
of that,
said that.
Though. Because whoever I dated was going to be good to my son. You're not forever in debt to somebody because they're good to your kid.
You're putting your own respect.
Oh, for sure.
But that's what it. That's the
That's his
dad.
dad. He calls
It's not.
him dad.
It's
That's
not
his dad.
dad.
No, but sometimes I feel like men want this praise because you came into something with a woman with a previous child, and it's like, okay, I gotta forever be thankful to you. It's like, okay, you're here, and I'm super grateful. But now that the years have gone by, you've assumed this role, you've asserted your position, and we're just gonna keep going. We're not gonna sit here and everywhere we go, we're gonna be like, oh, like.
So can I ask you a question? If you decided to walk away,
right?
If you decided,
right,
and you don't find a man that
He's always gonna be his
hold on,
dad.
stay with me. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I think he already established that.
Right.
And we're going to give him that respect.
Right.
Again, I'm going to give him a round of applause one more time, guys.
Yes.
Because it's not who creates you, it's who raised you. And I'm giving that man his flowers for that. Let's have that statement. Now, if you decide to walk away, decide, and you don't find a man that you thought would compliment you, or you do find a man that you thought would compliment you, and y'all don't work out, are you willing to die alone?
I mean, I was born alone.
That's not what I'm asking. You know what I mean. I don't want to die alone. I'm not going to allow myself. I don't want to die alone.
But I feel like you're already going into it with a negative tone. What if you find someone and you're happier? Why is it always the grass ain't going to be green on the other side? What if it is?
That's not what I asked you.
What if it's greener?
I said, are you okay with it?
I mean,
because there are a lot of women that be bitter
and
a lot of men that be bitter after they had a good situation and treated it bad, thinking that the grass was greener, and now they're bitter.
But the fear of the grass not being greener on the other side shouldn't let you stay where it's brown. That's all I'm saying.
Brown.
The fear of the grass not being greener on the other side shouldn't let you stay where you're unhappy.
Can you look me in my eyes?
Stay where you're miserable.
Look right
I
here.
want to look at you in your eyes.
No, look me in my eyes. 2 seconds.
Leave me alone.
I want you to be honest and say, if it doesn't work out, what I'm expecting to find, I'm okay with whatever happens.
No, I'm not okay with whatever.
But you have to.
Okay with whatever.
No, whatever happens. Because it's like if I quit a job that's decent,
Okay.
and I don't have the certainty already,
Right.
I have to accept that I might not find a better job.
Right.
We could talk of walking in faith, and
That's
God
a
can
risk
say,
you take.
you know, there's a parable of the man that had 3 opportunities and didn't see the 3 opportunities.
But that's
the
a
car
risk
that came
you
to get
take.
him, he said, I'm not going to leave.
Right.
And they drove off. Then the water came,
Right.
and then he was on the second level. They came in a boat. He said, no, I'm good. And then he was on the roof. They came in a helicopter, and he said, no, I'm good. And he died.
The helicopter is a real Bible.
There's a parable.
Bible?
It's not in the Bible. It's a parable. But the story.
Helicopter.
Yeah. No, but look.
got that Bible at the barbershop.
No. We don't do that.
Like, wait a minute.
What I'm getting at is the story is she had the opportunity, or he or she had the opportunity to be saved, but they chose not to because it didn't look like what they wanted to look like. I think a lot of people. I'm gonna say this.
You never know what's on the other side, Q. You never know.
But that's
what's on
not the
other
question I asked you
side.
though. I said, are you okay with accepting that if it don't come, I'm okay with that?
You got to be okay with it.
No, most people won't be. Most people won't be on.
She allergic.
You cannot stay somewhere
You heard that?
where you're up.
You heard that?
What he said?
He said cats and all.
And I said she allergic to cats.
Yeah, I am allergic to cats. You can't stay in something that's okay. So let me ask you this. We'll flip it this way. You're at a job. You love this job. And you're like, yo, this job is awesome. I love it. And yo, but I'm not really happy. It pays the bills. Not I love this job. I'm sorry. I don't like it, but it pays the bills. But I want to do something else. I don't feel like this is the place for me. I'm not growing the way I want to grow. I'm not able to express my creativity. I'm not able to do.
That's where you going.
Are you now going to stay stagnant and allow yourself to say, but you know what? It pays the bills. It's doing what it needs to do. The hours are flexible. I got my 3 weeks vacation, whatever jobs provide. Or are you going to get to a point where you say, you know, but I'm not happy here. Every day I wake up, I'm miserable. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., all I'm thinking about is getting out of here. But it does pay the bills, though. So do I stay or do I go? What do you do?
I think there are some people.
What do you do?
Me personally,
You personally.
being a business owner and you know that you have all these businesses going and you're going to stay at a job 9 to 5 or you're going to jump out on faith like God say, or you're going to take the risk.
Not knowing what's on the other side. Because I'm sure when you opened the barbershop, you didn't know if you were going to be successful. You didn't know what it was going to be.
I'll give you a story. When I opened up my...
before you give the story, what are you going to do? I'm just curious to know your answer.
Are you going to stay at the job or are you going to leave?
Are you going to leave?
I'm going to invest to do something more, but I will say, honestly, I understand what you're saying.
Are you going to stay or are you going to leave the job?
I think it's different when we talk about a job and an actual life partner.
Are you...
I don't want to compare a life partner to a life partner and a job ain't the same thing.
The scenario that I just gave you, Q, the boss, the scenario that I just gave you, are you going to stay or are you going to leave? It's a very simple question.
That is an answer that the person in the situation got to choose. Because again, the only reason why I say that, I'm telling you why. I'm answering it. I'm answering it right now.
Would you stay or would you go?
And the only reason why I say that is because you have to be comfortable knowing that if it don't pan out, you have to accept that you've made that choice. Because I do know people who decided to walk away from relationships. It didn't pan out the way they thought. And now they're miserable, bitter, and they're angry at the person that they left because they've chosen to leave.
Right.
Because just so you know, in most cases, more women file for divorce. And let me say this, a lot of times men will compromise their happiness to keep their family together. A lot of women will compromise their happiness they'll compromise their family for their happiness. It's true. I'm being honest with you. It's true.
What? So I started therapy, guys. I'm gonna tell you something.
need
I
it.
don't know. I love it. I don't know what it is about therapy with Black people where a lot of us feel like we don't do it. And I was one of those people too, especially growing up in a Caribbean home where it was like, therapy, you better go lay down. Like it was never, I'm like,
you see what somebody wrote? Look, just so you hear this. Someone said he can't answer he answered the correct. You can't tell a person what to do. And then someone said he can't answer the question. We're talking about marriage, guys. Hold on, let me just say this. I am not going to go before God and say I am the reason why somebody chose to get a divorce. Let me say this again.
It has nothing to do with divorce. I didn't ask you anything about a divorce. I asked you a simple question about a job. And you can't even answer that. But it's not a job we're talking about because... We are talking about a job because that's what I said. I said if you're in a job that makes you unhappy, you go to work from 9 to 5, and from 9 to 5, all you're thinking about is, I hate this place. I cannot wait to leave.
Can I ask you a question though?
Hold on. Okay. You can ask me when I'm finished. So I say,
excuse me. But you're going away.
It's paying the bills. It's paying the bills. I'm paying my bills. You know what? Everything's getting paid. The lights are on. The kids are good. Everybody's good. But I hate this place. I'm not growing. I see so much potential for myself. I just want to get out of here. I'm itching to get out. Do you stay or do you go? We're not making a comparison. I just asked you a simple question. Do you stay or do you go?
When it comes to a job, I will leave. But in a relationship, it's not the same as a job.
Okay. Right.
So let's establish that.
But a relationship is a job because it takes work.
It's a commitment. It's a commitment.
It's a committed job.
It's a commitment.
It's a committed job.
No, it's not.
It's a committed job.
A job is something that when I choose to give a person the rest of my life, for better or for worse, I'm not staying at my job. But for my relationship,
some people do.
That's retarded. But I'm being honest. For better or for worse, that's going to be my wife.
Right.
No matter what. My woman's sick. She got put on weight. She's not happy. I'm going to be there because that's a commitment. When you go before God and you make that commitment, I cannot compare it to a job.
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest with you.
Why are you divorced?
Listen, I'm about to say, I'm a person that dishonored my vows. And I'm comfortable to tell the truth.
Okay.
I dishonored my vows.
Do you regret being divorced?
No, because I wasn't ready to be married. I married the wrong person because I was the wrong person that got into a marriage. I wasn't marriage material yet, but I thought this was the right thing because of the tenure of us being together.
How old were you when you got married?
I would say 27 and insecure. 27, coming out of a situation where I just didn't want to be my father. I had a son when I was 17. I met the mother. She got pregnant fast. I didn't even know she was serious until she told me she was pregnant. Then I said, I don't want to be my father. So I got in a relationship, and I lost my best friend at the time too. I met her around the time I got her when I lost my best friend. So it brought us closer.
Okay.
It was a codependency because I lost someone I love. I try to pour my love into somebody else because I needed it at the time. Okay. So when you look at my situation, I poured into a marriage that wasn't conducive to the next chapter of me. I poured into a relationship that was healthier for her as long as I was willing to be what she wanted me to be.
But a lot of people do that, Q.
That's not healthy, though.
But it's not about healthy or unhealthy. A lot of people do that. You dive into marriages. We just said that. You dive into marriages and relationship that you're not ready for because you think it's the right thing to do. Let's do this. You know what? For me, I definitely dove into this second relationship, which turned into my marriage. And it's no disrespect or disregard to my husband. It's not me trying to say, oh my God, he's not. But I did, because you know what? I came from hurt from the first relationship that I thought was everything. This was the father of my kid. I wanted this to work, and it didn't. So now my next relationship, it was going to work. You was going to do what you had to do. You was going to stay. You was going, and a part of that, I dove in again. You get what I'm saying? And maybe not fully being ready, which is why I said, you got to find out the likes and dislikes before. A lot of people out here just diving into stuff and you don't know nothing about this person.
Very true.
You don't know what's going on. You don't know their culture. You don't know what they're like. Yo, is he good? Is his people good? Is his family good?
I laugh.
You clowning me now?
Yeah.
Why?
Because everything you complain about him not being, you are.
Everything
you complain about him not being, you are. Everything that you complain about him not being, you're strong enough to do. It's crazy when I'm listening to everything that you're complaining about him not being. You are it. Okay, I don't want to do it. I don't want to pay bills all the time. I don't want to always figure it out. I don't want to. But God has made me who I am. And I had to accept it. My mother was not going to be a rich woman. So I had to decide to be a rich man to give her what I felt like she wanted.
Look,
because my mother wasn't. It doesn't matter.
Dive in with me. It's unfair to compare a man to a woman.
I disagree.
You cannot say just because
you can't pick and choose when it be
our we
alphas.
can, because a man is, the expectations of a man and a woman are different. You're not gonna tell a woman, yo, you're the strong one. He don't got to be. You're the this. He don't got to be. So what? So I'm just supposed to say as a woman, be like, listen, I accept my role, and it is what it is, and. Girl, I'ma just Myra. You said he took you where? To Mexico? That's nice. Like,
but
I want to go to Mexico.
So let me ask you a question. So look at it. Be honest. If you told your man, I need you to start putting money in his joint account, and I need you to do ABC, would he do it? Yes or no? Is it yes or no? Would he do it? Being honest.
If I told my husband, do you need to put money in a joint account? Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yo, go get my gun.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
No, but you're asking such direct questions. It's unfair.
Because it's honest.
Listeners and followers don't. You're asking, if you told your man to do, but there's a whole bunch of other things, though. If I told Myra, hey, Myra, you want to go to have a drink after this? Would she go? Yes. Okay. We're going to go have a drink. What is your point? What is your point?
Someone wrote, is he not letting you travel?
Travel? No.
He can't let me not do anything.
Put your gun away. God damn.
What I want to do. I do what I want to do. I'm being honest. I do what I want to do. It's not. When is somebody going to let you not do? So I don't like that word. You let me not. You can't let me not.
You see what I'm saying? Can somebody go give me a mirror?
What you mean you let me not?
I'm seeing a very alpha energy right now.
But what do you mean?
Because what you see her response? Her response is my response. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from. That's alpha.
What you mean? Does he let you not travel? You can't let me not.
Somebody say you should be single.
And is.
She's definitely gonna be single for a long time.
Why should I be single?
Can I
Why
be
y'all
honest?
coming for me? Don't
Can I
come
be
for
honest
me.
with you? I don't think you should be single. I think you're the leader of your home, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with being a leader. All I said to you was I want to also experience what it feels like to be in a soft era. That's all I said. I never disagreed, guys, with being a leader. I never said I love the fact that my kids come to me, Mom, Mom, can we, Mom? And I love the fact that I plan everything and I'm the one who this and that. And I love that. But I'm just saying to you, as a woman who does all of that, I would love to experience what it feels like to just sit back for a second.
And be soft.
And be soft, Q.
Yo, can I be honest with you?
Go to hell.
Go to hell. You see that, guys?
Not hell.
In the most respectful
It's a joke.
way,
It's a joke. That's my sister.
I love it.
I ain't taking that personal.
What you mean?
Can I be honest? I'll tilt that a little bit so you can catch her a little bit. Just a little bit. Right there. Right? Can I be honest? You want me to be honest with you or not?
Sure, Q. Sure.
As a leader, let me ask you something. You know basketball or no?
Enough.
You know Michael Jordan?
I do.
You think Michael Jordan give a damn about not leading when he knows he's a leader? A leader holds himself
But
accountable.
you're naming men. I'm not a man. Q, stop
Okay,
comparing me to
I'll
men.
go further. I'll go further. Oprah. Stedman is
Get out my
Stedman.
head. I thought about Oprah.
Oprah. Stedman. And if Oprah let Stedman leave, Oprah would not be who she is today. Yo, you are a strong woman. I get it. It's frustrating. It's
She's very
tiresome.
strong.
It's burnout. I get it. I get burned out sometimes. You know, one time, I'm gonna be honest with you, I had to sit in my room one day. I closed the doors. I turned the light off. And I suffer from something at one point called imposter syndrome, where a lot of times I don't want to be who I am, but I am who I am. And I had to accept it. Like I said to myself, I don't come from a rich family, but they will come from me. I had to accept that I was the one. I had to learn financial literacy. I had to learn what to do with money. I had to learn how to economically position my family. And the only thing what made my chessboard better is by finding the right pieces. And I genuinely believe you found the right piece with your husband. I personally think so, that he is a very intricate piece to the next chapter of your book. I think that he's a good man. Number one, most of these dudes are trash. These dudes are hitting girls. They'll drive your car to go pick up another girl. And then you're gonna be like, these dudes is dangerous.
What?
These dudes is different out here. But look at me, I'm being honest. I personally think your husband is a good man. And I told you this before.
We never said he wasn't. He's
But
a
I
great
think he's
man.
good for you. He's good for you. And I think you don't want to miss the biggest blessing that God has given you. He's taking your child and accepted him as his own. And I'm not bigging him up because of that. That is then he accepted knowing that my woman is very strong and I'm comfortable with that. But I love her enough where I'm willing to accept it. We have visions in our heads of what we want, but we don't have a mentality of what we want. The mentality is more feasible for everything than it is about the person itself, the look. It's a mentality. Sometimes you'll see a black man with a white woman, but at the end of the day, that white woman fits that black man. Sometimes you'll see an Indian man with a black woman, but that Indian man fits that black woman. Sometimes people say, oh my God, I can't believe you stepped out of his race, but it just fits. I have a homeboy, and he's family to me. He's like my little brother, and I love him to death. His fiance is white, and he's a black guy, and I don't see him doing better than her. I genuinely believe she is for him. And when I first met her, it was the first time I felt comfortable knowing who he's going home to. I was like, I genuinely believe she loves him. And there's not one bone in my body. Love is about acceptance. And when a person accepts you, that is the ultimate definition of love. The Bible says love does not impose its own will. And you're trying to impose. And listen to me. I'm being honest. Expectations. Love is not about imposing your own will. Love is an acceptance. That man chose to love you flawed and all.
Agreed.
And accept you for you. Because he loves
We're
you.
not arguing that, Q.
But
And
I
nothing
just think
you
he's a
say
good
is
man.
what we're arguing. We are not arguing, is he a good man? Yes. He's a great, thank you. Is he a great dad? Yes. We're not arguing that. So you're kind of creating this narrative that doesn't exist. And
Emma?
yes, because we're not arguing his character.
Emma?
We're not.
No,
Yes, he is.
I mean,
Let me not talk.
listen,
I want to hear this.
Hold on,
What are you
pause,
getting?
hold on.
What
We're
are you
not
getting
arguing
out of
his
this?
character. And guys, when he said that, my husband is Indian, not Guyanese, not Trinidad, Indian with a dot on the forehead. Like he is Indian for real. And it's great. I love him. It has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with acceptance. It has nothing with any of that. It has to do with, all I simply said is, as an alleged alpha, which I don't want to be, but okay, as a leader. We're not going to say alpha, we're going to say leader.
Alleged?
Is it okay for women to just kind of sometimes want to be in our soft era? What am I saying wrong?
She's
Tell
not
me
saying
what I'm
anything
saying
wrong. I agree with
I
her
wish
with the
I could
soft
listen.
era.
Must be nice.
And
What he
I
said?
also
Must be nice to be
agree
so I
with
can.
Q when he says that her husband is a good guy. I agree with that. And I also agree that Shay is a strong woman. So I agree with all sides. And me knowing Shay my whole entire life,
Okay.
she's a very strong woman.
Yes.
And I'm trying
There
not
we
to say
go.
too much. I'm trying.
No,
I'm trying
talk.
not to say too much.
Talk. Because there's no riddle me this. We got to talk straight.
She's a very strong woman.
Big Virgo energy. All the
she's
Virgos.
A Virgo,
all
and
the
I'm
Virgos
a Gemini.
in the chat.
The best.
Nice.
So anyway, she's a very strong woman, and I believe in her husband is a very good man.
Yeah.
And I agree with Q. I agree with all sides.
We never argued if he was good though.
He the only man I ever met that I love. I promise, outside of God. Listen, to you. Outside of God, and I'm not being. I promise. I told you this last time. Based on what you said of him, I love this man. I have never met him.
He's a great guy.
He's a great
no,
guy.
I love him. I don't. I love him.
We're not arguing his character. All I said to you, I never came on here and
She
said
just wants
my
to be
husband is a bad
soft.
person.
She wants
He's
to be
all
soft.
I said was, can I feel a little bit of softness?
No.
Am I able to put down my gun
No.
and my what they wear around the wrist? Can I put everything down for 1 second and just say, okay, you got this now. Whether it's to plan something nice. You're telling me that a woman, I can't feel what it feels like for a man to plan something for me? Is that what you're telling me? For an anniversary or a special occasion, I can't feel what it feels like for your husband to say, you know, my wife does everything and this day is for you. That's not okay for me to feel that? That's all I'm saying. We've never said nothing about who he is. He's a great man.
No.
If I go home right now and say to my husband, listen, I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. He gonna be like, all right, be safe, drive safe.
But I feel like that's some of the problem is because she's so strong, she's gonna take advantage of that. She needs somebody to grab her by the neck.
Sometimes, yes.
That's what she. That's the type of woman she is. She needs someone
grab
to grab
me by
her by
these
the neck,
knotless braids and be like,
her in the corner, and be like, sit down
in that chair. You
be
ain't going
quiet, and I got this.
Yes. Please.
I got this. If she can find someone like that, she needs someone to take control, grab her up, sit her down. Listen, I got this. You sit down, shut up. What you came here to do? Relax. Sit down, shut up, put your feet up, and relax.
Guys, y'all want me to say something?
Go ahead, Q.
Most alpha men don't have the patience and the time for that. A great provider is worried about being a provider. In most cases, he's going to find a woman that balances his masculine energy. It's just what it is.
Okay.
Listen.
Shay is a very... At the end of the day, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. If I would be doing my family a disservice if I didn't lead. Right. Like there's certain people that just there was a scenario we had one time amongst our guys. So one of the guys said to me, he's complaining about one of the guys. I started laughing. And he's like, Q, I feel like you're not listening to me. I said, bro, you know who the person is. And then you're complaining about the person being who they are. It's because you're not doing what you're meant to do. It's just what it is. Because if you look at how healthy your household is, when I show you how sick some homes are, you'll realize that you might have a little common cold. And they got the COVID flu. Them households are sick.
Yeah, but someone else's home and my home, it's just because you're feeling what you're feeling in your home doesn't make it okay for me to feel what I feel in mine. We're not going to disregard.
Someone say he making too much sense.
We're not going to disregard some. You only reading that. I'm sure you didn't read the 10 comments before that probably
I can say
we're not going to disregard what I'm feeling because someone else is dealing with it.
Shit, it wasn't being nice.
I don't care, Q.
I'm going to read them. Just for you saying that?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Someone said she want to argue and get folded up every day to feel soft is crazy. Go help. She should have known an Indian man, not about that life, right? You got to work on him then, right? Alpha women and alpha men don't mix like oil and water, right? I just don't choose to read certain comments.
No, I'm not. I just feel like at a certain age,
she wanted all to be perfect. Sound like she needs to find her daddy.
Ooh. Not
First of all,
so
because that sound like a woman.
Excuse me, do not.
I don't know who said that.
That sound like a woman.
I don't know who said that.
No. It's okay. Whatever you guys are getting from it, it doesn't bother me. That's like
somebody. I gotta say this, Chris.
I don't care.
No, Cyrus. Somebody said, why would a woman want to be alpha? Because so many men aren't.
Yeah.
It's like you'll see. Like a lot of guys talk that I want to. You cannot lead a woman when you haven't done anything with your life.
Right.
Because women need security, protection, and provision. If a man hasn't hit this process, that means you're leading a woman from behind.
Right.
And the woman will never follow you going backwards.
Right.
That is retarded.
But to that person's comment, we don't choose to be alpha. That's not a choice. We don't wake up and choose to be alpha. So when they said, why would a woman be alpha? Because it chose us. Like,
Somebody said alpha women are just hurt women. I don't agree.
That's not true.
Sometimes you come in
Absolutely
these
not.
roles where you just have
We're very
to,
healed.
and I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's who I am. I don't sit here and claim. And I've said this to you, Myra. I don't want to be an alpha. I don't define myself as an alpha. Do I think I'm a leader? Do I think that I'm better at certain things and I assert that role? Yes, but it's not because I want to be. I'm okay with a man coming to me and being like,
be
"Babe,
alpha.
this is what we're gonna do."
I
But
do,
we
I do
are.
a lot of one-on-one consulting, right? A lot. There was a woman who complained about a lot of things about her man. And I thought it was a decent relationship. I thought it was good. And she decided to leave the guy. Then she realized how unattentive the new guys are. She said what made her realize that she made a bad choice is when she went to the food store and they drove to the house. The old guy would take up all the bags and try his best to bring all the bags in the house. She said the new guy was comfortable with letting her bring half the bags. Then she said he was more masculine in his vernacular, but his action didn't match what it was. Then she left him. Then she met another guy. It became a pattern. And I kept telling her, I said, have you ever thought that your expectations were just unrealistic? This is why I asked that question earlier. Are you comfortable accepting that if this man that you believe that's going to want you, and I'm not saying it in an insulting way, don't show up at your
I don't feel
doorstep?
insulted at all, Q, but I feel like I said one thing. I just want to feel what it feels like to be in a soft era. That's all I said.
You are your
I
soft
never
era.
sat here and said,
Go to the massage parlor and go get your massage and go get your feet done.
Exactly. So what's the point? That's all I'm saying. Give me a little bit of like softness and let me, whatever.
Listen,
Whatever, y'all.
there are times where I hate being this leader.
Whatever.
There are
I
times
guess-
where I feel like I gotta
I
always
didn't know
make
the
this.
world
It gets
disagreed
overwhelming.
with me so much, but
I don't think they disagree, and I think that people wish they was in your situation. No, I'm being honest with you. More than half women wish they had what you had. A lot of women genuinely believe that there is a guy out there waiting for them. And a lot of them kiss a lot of toads and realize they haven't got their prince. And they're never gonna get their prince. Because reality is the guy that they might have friend zoned and the guy that could have been their husband was the guy they overlooked. And the guy that they genuinely believe exists, he never existed. Some women need to just marry God.
Not married.
I'm dead.
Not Jehovah.
Ja!
Lordy.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, some men believe that certain women are for them that aren't for them either. Because it's always easy to say what's for you until you get it. It's always easy to be like, I want this woman, I want this man. It sounds good. Because we look at what sounds good on paper and what looks good on paper. But I'm gonna be honest with you, if you look at all of our older generation couples, they're some of the weirdest couples.
Oh, my
That's very
God.
weird.
I look at my grandparents like, Auntie
Yeah,
June, my grandmother and my grandfather should have never been together.
They do weird things.
My grandma's a bitch. She mean.
But you know what it was?
Auntie June is not mean. She's nice.
But you know what it is, though?
My grandma is mean.
I bet you
That's
that-
an alpha.
But I bet you that man that she chose, he complimented her.
Oh, he just be like, whatever.
We don't
I'm
need-
like, you don't let her talk to you like that? He's like,
And now imagine if she had a man that wouldn't accept that.
Okay.
Would it work? Hell, how many years she been married?
They've been married for a long time.
And they would have never lasted if it was me. I would have told her about her clot.
You work with Alpha?
No.
Yes, but I think we would just clash heads. I think we would just clash.
No.
In the passenger seat, when somebody driving,
Get tired of it.
I think I would just, we would clash a lot. But again,
He ain't gonna go for it.
whatever.
There's a woman that came in here the other day. She said to me, she has 2 kids. One dad, she was married and divorced, and she started describing the man she want. And I asked her a question. I said, can I ask you something? She said, what? I said, if this man never shows up to your doorstep, are you comfortable with dying alone? And she looked at me and was like, that sounds great. I said, I asked men the same question. You know, when I do consulting, I always ask. I had one guy, he complained about a lot of things about his wife. His wife, she don't like to do the work, but she will give the money. And I told him that's a major step. She believes in your vision. She just don't like the headaches.
Right.
It's not her.
Right.
And he kept complaining about it. I said, you want a boss chick. and then he get a boss chick, and that boss chick is rude and talk crazy to him, and she's not gonna go for certain things that the woman he has willing to do. I said, because there's a lot of things that you've done that failed, and this woman still believes in you. And he couldn't see that. And I was like, bro, you gotta look beyond yourself, man. I was like, the problem is, I think people want what they want until they get what they want and realize it was never for them. And I genuinely believe that. And this is just me speaking for, I wanted a woman that's more outgoing, but I realized an outgoing woman is not for me because I'm very outgoing myself. I need something that complements me. I'm the kind of guy that's a workaholic. I need a woman that's gonna be like, yo, when we gonna take a vacation?
Right.
I'm not a good planner. So I had to find a woman that is a good planner.
Right.
I had to find what complements me. I think that's what gives you your natural balance. And life is about balance.
I agree
and I
with
think
that.
your husband is a good balance to you. I think so. I've told you this before. And I'm standing on what I said. You know? And if you want to go get your shield and sword, we can go in the back and play Gladiator.
Thank God they don't
Denzel new movie out
Thank
too.
God they don't pay you to think. He tell me what he think. Thank God they don't pay thank you.
Wow.
So I say he's correct. So back to you now. What do you think? Do you think your husband balances you?
Yes.
How long? You said 10 years.
Almost 10, yes.
Let me
We're
give it a
married
10.
for 7.
We speaking of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We're going to keep going. But what I'm saying is, what was some of the hardest moments you seen with sustaining a marriage?
Communication.
On whose part?
His.
Elaborate.
Once again, I am a Gemini. So I'm an air sign.
Bipolar.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am great at communicating. That's one of my strong points. I'm going to tell you how I feel and express it in a way that's not disrespectful, in a way that you can understand and comprehend. I feel like because of his upbringing, sometimes he lacked a little bit of emotional intelligence. So it may cause him to look at a situation differently than I would.
Agreed.
So,
Makes sense.
right?
Makes sense.
So now his communication skills, because of that, have been kind of jaded and skewed. Oh, you know, when he needs to express something to me or how he feels, or if I tell him how I feel, him being able to process that information and then give me a response back, he kind of was shut down. So I kind of had to tell him, listen, this is not me. I'm a communicator. I'm going to talk it out. So if you can't meet me halfway, then we can't do this.
Okay.
I've given my husband ultimatums a few times to let him know that I'm not going to do this with you. If I'm meeting you halfway, I'm not going to walk all the way to you.
Okay.
You have to meet me halfway. I'm willing to walk. You have to be willing to walk. So I feel like our biggest thing that we had to get over was just his communication and him learning how to process his emotions and then put it into a way where he can communicate with me.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
What was your biggest flaw in the marriage? We heard about him.
My biggest flaw in a marriage is shutting up and listening. That was my biggest flaw. Once again, because I am a communicator, I may try to I won't say I'm not an over talker, but I may try to always disprove your position, or maybe try to always find a way to shoot what you're saying down or to find a one-up on you. So I had to learn how to shut up, sit back, and listen. And then maybe if you listen, you'll be able to, because you're trying to talk and talk. Maybe if you shut up and listen, you'll be able to process the information that he's saying. Maybe he's right.
Agreed.
So that's what I had to learn how to do. Be quiet.
You know something amazing? When you look at God, it was our creator, right? He's given us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I think we should listen more than we hear. And I apologize. But a lot of times I think a lot of us don't think like that. You know, one thing I will say is, a healthy marriage is finding someone healthy that wants to do the rest of their life with you. Because, you know, you ever heard somebody said, I'm compromising?
Yes.
But they don't realize the other person is compromising also. And when you look at them, you be like, you might not be the person that they thought they would be with either.
Right.
But they've chosen, and I say chosen, to give you the rest of their life, whether man or whether woman. And it took me to a divorce to realize that it's 2 people who's willing to do it no matter what. There are a lot of people that can get married, but most people can't stay married. And that's the truth I'm seeing today when you see expectations.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you a question also, and both of y'all. If you were talking to your younger self, what would you say to her? Like right now, and if you were looking at, say hypothetically, that's you. You're looking across at your younger self. What would you tell her?
Take your time. Take your time. I think that, so my mom moved, I was born in Jamaica, guys. My mom moved here when I was a year old, and I met her again when I was 6. My dad was kind of in and out of prison for most of my life, and I felt like whenever I felt like something was good enough, what you said, I fell for it. Like, that's great. Okay, great. I felt secure. You know, I felt like, I don't want to necessarily say I always looked to a man for, but I felt like I did, especially when I was younger.
Okay.
I wish that I took my time and to really figure out what was best for me, what was right for me, instead of just falling for every word.
Take it back. You're saying it to yourself.
Take your time. Take your time. It's going to be okay. Don't rush into things. Go easy on yourself. You know what I mean? Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Like, it's going to be all right, you know? And just take your time. Like, you're rushing. Slow down. Stop. I would just tell myself to slow down. I rushed. Everything for me just felt like it needed to happen, and it needs to happen fast. Take your time.
What, if you could change something about yourself, what would you change?
My patience. I'm very, very impatient. I'm very impatient. And I feel like I have a very short fuse. I have a very small window for like what I think is stupidity and stupid actions, where I feel like, yo, what you doing? You should know better. Maybe you don't. I wish I could change that and again, I'm not getting into signs where people say, it's a Virgo thing. We just, you know, yo, what are you doing? But yo, you should know better. You should, you know, and stop being so judgy. Stop looking, again, for people to be who you want them to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's it. Stop looking for people to be who you want them to be. Accept people as who they are, because some people just, this is who they are. They're not this vision that you have. I want them to be this, that, this, and you're looking like, but you're not doing this. And it's, yeah, just that. That's my question.
Do you love you?
I do love me.
Do you respect you?
I do respect me.
Okay. I believe you. You're talking to your younger self.
Question. What was the question again? If I had to...
If you had to tell your younger self something that you know now about your older self, what would you say to her? And I want you to talk to her as if she's standing in front of you.
Myra, I would tell you to slow down and pay attention.
I love that.
Just like Shay said, slow down, but also pay attention more. Look around, check out your surroundings, feel things out more. Don't take things at face value. Don't just believe what people say. If they tell you the sky is blue, Myra, go outside and look. If they tell you the greenest grass, go outside and look and feel the grass,
the greenest
Myra.
grass.
The greenest grass. Slow down, Myra. Take your time. You don't have to rush to get to a point where everyone else is. Take your time and love on yourself. And don't pour into others before you pour into yourself. Because that's a bad habit of yours, Myra. If I'm talking to myself, is Myra will pour into others, and give. And then when I turn around, my cup is dry. I have nothing. And it took for me to get to this big age now, Myra, to say, no, it's my time to fill my cup. And to answer your other question, if I had to change something about myself, I would change I would say to be more compassionate. Sometimes, like I always tell Shay, she's a humanitarian and she has a heart of gold. I'm not like that. I have a heart of stone sometimes and a heart of cold. So you tell me something sometimes and I try to be compassionate and I try to feel and I try to understand that sometimes I got this block on my heart, but I don't care. Yeah. And I'm trying to work on that, but that just comes from trauma. That just comes from life experiences and things that I've been in life where I had to dig myself out of. So when I look at other people's situations, it's like sometimes I'm so cold-hearted and cut off. So if I had to change anything about myself, I would want to be more... Soft-hearted. Because to leave it to Shay, she says I'm a BITCH, but I'm really not.
She mean.
Super. She said I'm mean, but I'm not cute. I'm not mean. I'm very nice.
Y'all just met her today. You talking about 30 years.
I
think
not 30
she's not
years.
mean. Myra is very, see me, I'm a sucker. You come to me, you be like, I'm hungry, I need $50. I'm like, I just have 100 here. Myra be like, for what?
I'll be like, you hungry? Come on, I'll go buy you
she's-
something to eat. Oh, you don't want it?
We're different in that sense. So I call
Yeah.
people like that mean. She's not mean. She has a heart. You know what I mean? She has a big heart, but she's stern. She's very stern.
And I'm
like if you
guarded.
meet her, you may be like, you know, yeah, you may be like, oh my God, like is she cool? Is she good? But she's an amazing, amazing person.
But a
Amazing
lot
person.
of people that have a exterior of like overly raw, they're soft,
Soft as hell inside.
inside.
Oh yeah, she's soft
I'm
as hell.
very soft.
Yeah, you can see that.
When
I
the
can see
tears
that.
start falling, you be like, Duns River.
Yeah, but you want to hear something? I want y'all to hear something, and I want y'all to tell me
She's
after
so soft inside.
after I say this, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this.
Okay.
Signs.
Wait. Can we stop for a second?
Yes.
If you were able to look at your younger self, what would
Yes,
you say
great
to your
question.
younger self? And if there was something you could change, what would it be?
Stop making excuses for what you can't change, and accept what you can, and look forward, and stop overly indulging on the past. Trauma is a part of life, but it's how you embrace your trauma
Right.
what gets you to the next chapter of your life. I would also say to myself, pick your head up, put your crown on strong and tight, and it's a process to becoming a king, and it's a process to becoming a queen. And a lot of times
Love that.
you have to slow down the process because I think you want things to happen too fast. And the last thing I think I would say is stop trying to make people who you want them to be. When they show you who they are, stop trying to repaint them because you're going to lose more of you trying to fix people than you are going to fix yourself. You're going to lose yourself trying to fix
In the
people.
process.
Yes.
That's a good one.
But I want to say this, signs of a narcissist. I want y'all to hear this.
Okay.
A heavy sense of self-worth. They may have an inflated sense of self-worth, overestimate their abilities, or brag about their achievements. Belief of superiority, sincere superiority. They may believe that they are special or unique and only want to spend time with others who are equally special. The need of admiration. They may have fragile self-esteem and constantly seek praise and admiration. Entitlement. They may feel special treatment and favor from others and may become angry when they don't get it, right? Explosive behavior. They may constantly or unconsciously use others to get what they want, right? They lack empathy, right? They may not recognize or care about the needs and feelings of others, right? Envy. They may feel envious of others, especially what they see as successful, right? Arrogance. They may come across as conceited or arrogant. Difficult handling criticism. They may become impatient or angry when others don't receive special treatment or may react with rage or contempt. Trouble with relationships. They may have difficulty interacting with others and may feel easily slighted. Inability to apologize. They may not apologize and express remorse and may even gaslight others. What I realized that, and the reason why I read this is the reason why I'm going with this. This sounds like 2024 couples. And I'm talking about from a man's perspective and a woman's perspective. That narcissism has overly indulged in our culture to the point it's a cancer. A lot of men are narcissists. A lot of women are narcissists. And we don't see it because we use the term, but we don't define the term. And I genuinely believe that previously in one of my relationships, I definitely had very narcissistic traits. And it took me to accept it, to see that I wanted what I wanted when I wanted. I lacked empathy. I wanted, you better do this now. I'm being honest. And I felt very entitled. But also, it's certain, when I was able to identify, because the first step to any kind of recovery is admitting that you have a
Problem.
And I had to admit that I had a problem. And I was able to fix it. And I think that a lot of people feel like they're entitled to things that are not for them. And I think God doesn't give us what we want. He gives us what we need.
That's right.
And when we get what we need, we fight for what we want.
That's right.
Ultimately losing what we really needed.
That's deep.
You know, anybody got anything to say before we get out of here today?
That's it.
No, you gotta say something. You can't just leave like that.
Oh, yes, guys. So follow us on Instagram at 2T's in a pod. That's, how you spell it, Shane? TEAZINAPOD.
Yeah.
Don't
forget the TWO.
2T's in a pod.
Right.
With a Z. So, guys,
Yes,
follow us.
guys.
No, I want you to say something about yourself or how you felt about a quick summary of the podcast before you get out of here today.
This podcast was amazing. I love the energy, but I already knew it was going to be, because when you get good people in a room and you get good energy, it's automatically you're going to connect. Automatically there's going to be a connection and it's going to be a message. You're going to have fun.
Agreed.
It's just all about connecting. Sometimes you can all come from different walks of life. When you get together with a common goal, great things happen. And once again, we are so honored for Q to bring us on this podcast and allow us to share his platform with him. We thank you very much for this.
Yes.
Y'all not gonna clap?
Of course, guys. Come on.
Shout out to our big
out
brother
to
Q.
Q,
We
our
love
big
you,
brother
Q.
Q.
But before you finish,
Yes.
all my flowers, cool. That's cool. It's about you. I want you to say something to advise somebody in the dating world, giving something like a gem, a jewel.
dating world.
Yeah, something like someone that's trying to figure out themselves. I want you to leave them with something from your lens.
So because I'm no longer dating, I haven't dated in 10 years, I'm going to leave you with this, because this is a lesson that I have learned, and I just mentioned this a few minutes ago. Pour into yourself. It's God first and then you.
Yes.
I know we have family, we have responsibilities, we have job, we have all of these things that we are carrying. But if you're not okay, none of those things are going to be okay. Start setting your boundaries. Start saying no and focus on yourself. I have learned in my big age, and it took me so long to learn, that I come first.
Yes.
Nothing or nobody else come. My feelings, my choices, my thoughts come first before anybody.
Agreed.
Put yourself first, people, and everything will fall into place.
I agree.
That's what I leave you with.
That was actually good.
That was really good.
We turning the table over to you.
It's Zena's turn. Go, Zena.
All right. Maybe I'll just talk to the moms for a second, since
Yes.
clearly I can't talk about marriage on here.
I think you do both.
No, I'm not. I'm done with them.
You
I'm done with
can.
your followers. I'm done with you. Guys, moms, like kind of adding to what Myra said, take care of you first. Your kids will see that you're not happy if you're not happy. Pour into yourselves. Just take your time, you know what I mean? And as it comes to relationships, take your time, figure out people. Like, ladies, slow it down. Don't feel like because of our age or whatever we have going on, we need to be in this rush, you know? It's like, let me just beat, you know, it's a race for marriage, and it's a race to figure it out. It's okay, take your time, figure you out first, because if you don't figure you out first, you don't know if you're a good fit for someone. You're not gonna know what to bring to the table if you're not okay, you know? And that's it. Take your time. For me, it's all about slow. It's never too late to slow down. Just slow it down, take your time, and everything will fall into place. Put God first, love first, and that's it.
Amen.
You know what I mean? That's it. And like I
Amen.
said, shout out to Q for having us on.
shout out
to
We love
you.
our big bro. And yeah,
Appreciate
guys,
it.
just slow it down. It's one step at a time. Don't make anyone make you feel rushed. Don't make anyone feel like you're missing out. You're not missing out on anything. Like you said, the grass isn't always green on the other side. But just because it's not, don't mean you need to stay where it's brown. Figure
Agreed.
it out. It's a thin line between both, and you'll figure it out. That is it. That is all.
I want to give a shout out to my one of the guests today, Dasani, DASANI_. She showed a lot of love tonight on this episode.
Thank you,
Shout out to
Dasani.
Yes, but I want to say this before we get out of here. In most cases, a person don't know they're sick until they go to a hospital or a doctor, right? I think some people need to diagnose themselves and see that we are sick. And I always ask this question to my guys. When you see a cold, we know that A, you might need rest. You might need cough medicine. You might need something that can help you cure your sickness, right? When you look at someone that has a fever, might be the same symptoms, right?
Right.
But the one thing I always ask is, how do you heal a culture of people who don't see that the sickness are the people? And when you look at our culture, we have become sick and plagued by selfishness, plagued by entitlement, plagued by what we feel we deserve. It's nothing wrong with, as my sister said earlier, having standards. But when your standards don't make sense or in line with what God has for you, then it is not for you. And I genuinely believe that I tell God every day, order my steps, but I realize that God can't order steps that I'm not willing to take. And a lot of times we don't realize that the steps that we're not willing to take, God can't order them. So I say this with conviction and confidence. In order to create healthy children, we have to be healthy ourselves. In order to create a healthy family, we have to be healthy ourselves. But I can't appreciate what I don't, or what I have, but I'm not accepting what I don't. Sometimes we look for things through someone else's window, but we don't appreciate our own windows because we overly indulge on others' windows. And what is for you will be for you. No matter what, God knows what's best. And one thing I will say before I get out of here, for someone that's discouraged, that's not happy, as my sister said, choose you first after God, and learn that happiness is a choice. Stop expecting others to make you happy when you're not happy yourself. Don't let that go over your head.